Hi, guys. Welcome back to my channel, Storytime with Ghost. I am your host, The Ghost. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, on today's show, we got a good one for you today. This is part 2 of episode 3 of Alien Earth. And boy, do I got a lot to talk about. Funny enough, I was planning on making this video short, but I did end up rewatching episode 3 again right before recording this so I can have it all stay fresh in my mind. And boy, what a mistake that was, because I ended up adding a lot more things, a lot more comments, and just like WTF moments as I was rewatching it again. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in. So here we go. Now, the first thing I want to get out of the way right now is the battle with Marcy, aka Wendy. When she defeated the xenomorph, I mean, I just want to add a little bit more to that whole scene, and just to add how effing ridiculous that the whole scene was. And not only that, it just completely removes the threat that a xenomorph poses now, because essentially, when again the xenomorph had the opportunity to kill Joe again for like the upteenth time, after the xenomorph skewered him in the back, and the xenomorph was standing right on top of Joe with the little tongue going out, right? And the xenomorph was about to xenomorph Joe, but then at that exact moment, of course, Ex Machina, we have who do we have? We have Marcy, Wendy, Mendy. You know what? I'm gonna start calling her Mendy, or Wacy. Anyways, Wendy so happens to use that little meat hook, and just meat hooks the xenomorph's tongue. Okay, and then just drags it like a little puppy, like a little, like a stray dog, like a stray animal that you just find running around in your neighborhood. And I just don't understand why the xenomorph just doesn't move forward and just rush her. And instead, Wendy is just dragging, the little xenomorph puppy. Come on, xenomorph puppy, let's go in our garage door. Let's go in our garage. And then, of course, and then we all know what happens. Garage door falls down, and we don't see anything that happens. And then just, of course, the xenomorph gets decapitated, and on top of that, Wendy gets damaged, which a little bit of milk comes down her face, but there's absolutely no damage, and it doesn't. And at the very end, it shows her again, with no damage when she wakes up, and there's still no damage. So what did the xenomorph exactly do, and why was she incapacitated? Okay, so let's talk about Morrow. Morrow, we need to talk about good old Morrow. Now, I did at the beginning of the show enjoy Morrow, the cyborg. He was very interesting. I like his voice. He has a very interesting voice. Reminds me of like something though. But so now Morrow is mad. Okay, so Morrow is mad because he was gone for 65 years. He was gone for 65 years, and then he comes back to Earth, and he's mad because his family is dead and all the alien specimens have gone captured. So now he's mad, and now he has this almost like a vendetta just to go and get the aliens back, because it's been his life work. His life work for, since he's been gone 65 years. So now my issue with that though, and is something that no one's really even questioning, is okay, buddy, you knew this when you signed up for the company, that this is going to be a few maybe decades out, that you're going to be out into space, I would think, right? I mean, did you read the fine print? I mean, I'm sure it said somewhere that, hey, you could be gone for at least, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. But that's part of the job. So for him to be mad that his family is dead because he's been gone so long seems a little bit nonsensical to me. So that's issue one with Morrow. Issue two with Morrow is this. We all essentially know he is now the Captain Hook character of this Peter Pan, alien hybrid story. And just as a side note, this whole similarities to Peter Pan and with aliens in the storyline, I'm sorry, it just ruins the whole series for me. I mean, this just that simple premise alone ruins it for me. I mean, at first, I didn't really mind it, the first couple episodes, but now that I'm more and more thinking about this, it just makes everything that happens in from the whole show a contrivance, meaning that everything was forced to happen the way it happens, without happening organically, like in a natural progression. It's just everything. For instance, I'll give you an example. I mean, for kid boy genius, kid cavalier, right? Now, if you look at his appearance, he's supposed to embody Peter Pan, right? But okay, great. Fine, but why does he look kind of like Peter Pan? So that is a contrivance. They're trying to force something to make something a, part of the premise. So they're trying to make him look like Peter Pan. I mean, just his dress style. I mean, the way he dresses, that's not how a normal person dresses. I get it. He is the first youngest trillionaire, but I mean, come on, look at like Mark Zuckerberg and all these other trillionaires like Jeff Bezos and who was that? Oh, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs only wore a black shirt. I don't know if you guys knew this, but that's all he had in his wardrobe was black shirts. Mark Zuckerberg, what was he wearing for the longest time? He only wore like one type of shirt, really. It was like gray or something. So, but it was normal. It wasn't really flamboyant. But now we got Peter, boy Cavalier, he's now supposed to embody this Peter Pan character. And we're supposed to believe as the audience that this happened naturally. Like, okay, so that's kind of a coincidence that not only is he trying to start the Lost Boys, but he looks like Peter Pan. And then now he has this alien, not this alien. Now he's got Wendy, who is a hybrid. She just decided to name herself Wendy. Okay. So, wow, another contrivance. Okay. So now we have this Morrow character. Now he's going to be playing the Captain Hook character because not only that, I mean, it's pretty in our faces every single time that blade comes out. So what would have been more on the nose is having a hook. I mean, okay, that would have been a little too on the nose, but just to be a little different, they got the blade, they got the blade. So just to be a little different. Now, speaking of the Lost Boys, we have one of the Lost Boys. I had to look this up. I had to look up the names of the Lost Boys. And it's funny too because I was actually going to IMDb and because I was just curious on is really the cast of these children and the cast of characters and like what is their like show names. And it is so funny. Let me read you some of these names. I don't even know if you guys are even aware of the names of the Lost Boys. So here they are. Oh, and the rest of the characters in the show as well, not just the Lost Boys. Now, you will be forgiven if none of these names ring a bell or you can't seem to remember any of them because they are so out of left field. Okay, here are some of the names. We have Wendy as played by Sydney Chandler. We have Joe Hermit, Dame Sylvia, Boy Cavalier, Morrow, Slightly, Curly, Smee, Arthur Sylvia, Siberian, Rashidi, Kirsch, Toodles, Utani, Nibs. That one just grinds me for a little bit for some reason. I don't know why. Nibs. Adam Ines, Chief Nag, Rahim, Chibuzi, Chibozo, Jabuzo, Hoyt, Child Nibs, Ops Ham, Burgerfeld, and Nat, Brahma, Child Curly, Cortez, Child. Okay, so anyways, you get it. You get where I'm going with this. Like, how am I supposed to remember any of these names? They're just so forgettable. I mean, I can't. I mean, and how am I supposed to attach these weird names to the characters that they're supposed to be attached to? It just seems ridiculous. Now I'm talking about Curly. so Curly goes in there and then talks to Boy Cavalier while he's playing with some Legos. He's playing some white Legos. And then she goes in there and then she's like, she wants to report to him. And he tells her, it's like, oh, I sent Wendy on the mission, not you. And then she tells him, well, Wendy's broken. And is she your favorite? Like, I want to be your favorite. Like, why? I don't understand like the side of their ego. These are synthetic beings. I understand that their children's minds are transferred, the consciousness is transferred into this synthetic. I mean, that in itself is just mind blowing. If they don't really have any attachment to emotion, why do they even care if they're someone's favorite? Like, that is all about having ego. And why do these synthetics have an ego is my question. It just doesn't make any sense. And then one last thing about Morrow that is just kind of confusing me is at the beginning of the show, he did something, or maybe he did not, because he's in that room talking to Mother or communicating with Mother when that girl was trying to get back in and he wouldn't let her back in and all hell was breaking loose in the spaceship. We as the viewer don't know exactly what happened before to cause all that. And I thought, maybe you thought that Morrow had something to do with that. And I thought that like maybe it was Yutani's plan and intention to deliberately crash land their ship with all these alien specimens into Prodigy's home turf with the plan of wreaking havoc to Prodigy and taking down his empire. I thought that was really what was going on with Morrow. But now with this episode, Morrow seems to be like upset that it crash landed, like he didn't know, or he had no part in releasing those aliens that caused it to crash land. So that piece is missing, which by the way, Morrow is upset that the ship crash land and now he's got to go retrieve his life's work. What then? So he goes over there to Neverland and then he finds the alien specimens by himself. I mean, is he going to get some help? And then what? He's going to go down there and then go bypass security and then what? Grab all the aliens and throw it in the back of his minivan and head home? Like, what is his like what's his end game? What's his motive? And why is he leaving Utani out of this? Like, and on top of that, there's a scene where Morrow is walking along in the city and then he snags like this couple's like bag of food or something on their table and then no one notices. I mean, it's so comical that he does it in front of everybody. There's so many people there and he takes it and no one notices. And it's just so dumb. But and then he starts eating it. And I was just thinking, like, okay, this guy's been on a mission for 65 years. Does he not have any debit cards? Like, did he not get paid by the company? Like, where is his credits? Where is his bitcoins? It makes no sense logically if you think about it. So I just need to turn your brain off. Just turn your brain off, and you'll like the show. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing because a lot of people are liking this show. I think I'm in the minority, so I'm sorry. There is something I need to shut my brain off. There's something wrong with my brain where I just can't not stop thinking about this kind of stuff. So we need to find out exactly what caused the ship to crash, if it was Morrow had a part in it or something else. Now going back to Curly, I did notice something when Curly was the one talking to Boy Genius about wanting to be his favorite. Now, if I was looking at the scene again and I noticed something that it just it was like, oh my God, it was just like a weird aha moment, like a light bulb, but it's nothing crazy or anything. But did you know that she looks remarkably like Sigourney Weaver, like a younger Sigourney Weaver? It is crazy. Now we have the scene with Kirsch in the lab, analyzing the alien egg, right? And you got the students around him, the Lost Boys around him, and then you got Curly videotaping, this whole dissection scene. And I was just thinking about this, and I was thinking like, okay. Aliens has been around since what, 1979? Like, we've seen aliens. I've seen all the alien movies. Like, we know what these alien eggs do. We know what comes out of them. So it is just, it's weird to me. Like, we're being shown this, like it's the very first time that we've ever seen these eggs. Like, they're just trying to make a big deal about it. Now, speaking of these eggs, did you guys notice too that these eggs look actually remarkably a lot like Khaleesi's eggs. Khaleesi. You all remember Khaleesi from that one little tiny show back in the day? You know that one little show called Game of Thrones? Now these eggs look like her eggs, right? Don't they look like dragon eggs? But I mean, that whole scene where they're like looking at it and he opens up the egg and, the face hugger comes out like, oh, we're supposed to be surprised. And then we don't actually see it in the egg. It just comes out and then we see it shown on on the table and they're holding it down. They cut it open and then they get the little sperm. They get the sperm alien out of the face hugger. And I like how Kirsch knew that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know he was in the ship's computers downloading all the information, but how they knew it had alien, like little alien face hugger sperm in there, which is also so stupid. So stupid. Alien sperm that then Kirsch decides to drop it in the little test tube with Joe's lung. And so now at the end you see it going into the lung. Okay, great. So now we're gonna have a xenomorph, a chest burster coming out of the lung, right? I get it. I know they're probably gonna put the lung back into Joe, right? And then Joe is he's gonna be infected and then chest burster or whatever. Or it's gonna be a new type of alien. Maybe that's the angle. My question is, like, how do they know to do that? Like Hirsch, how did he know not to do that? Versus having the face hugger, I don't know, go on somebody's face. Like, I don't understand, like, why they don't do that first. They obviously know that the facehugger wants to do something. It wants to do something because they're struggling to hold it down. Why don't they just loose, why don't they put it in a room and get a test subject, right? Some poor soul, and then throw it in there with her and see what happens. But no, instead, they get the little alien sperm and then they put it in the lung because I know they're trying to add something new and exciting. But yeah, it's a bit dumb in my opinion. If you like it, great, great, good. But in my opinion, it's way dumb. Why use modern music? Like, why use Metallica? Why use Tool? And why use what was the other one that they use? I can't remember. But why? I don't. It adds nothing. And actually, as a matter of fact, it actually takes away because it actually takes me out of this universe. I don't want to know that Ice Age, okay, is in this universe. And I get it. I get what they're doing. They're thinking that they're making it think like, oh, like our reality because we have Ice Age in this world. So we're now connected to the xenomorphs. So xenomorphs are real in our reality. I mean, I think that's the angle, but whatever. It's so dumb. And then lastly, we got that stupid Blade Runner reference at the end, with the old lady doing something with the wall, and they focus so much attention on it because it's a Blade Runner reference. With everything that I watched and I see where it's going, I don't have much hope for the show. However, I will stay cynically optimistic on the future of the remaining show. So I will carry onward, and finish up the season. And because I do actually want to know exactly what happens at the end. So, but anyways, with that said, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10 rating. 1 being complete hot garbage, a steaming pile of hot garbage, and 10 being like the heaven gates open. I mean, the angels are flooding. They've taken you away. They got their meat hooks in you, and they're taking you to the movie theater because it's that good that you need to see it now. I don't even care if you're in the shower. Just run out. Okay, put some clothes on before you go to the show. But that's a 10. So where I rank that, this show, this episode, as it sits right now, after like my third or fourth viewing, oh my god, like I can't watch this episode anymore. Otherwise, it's the rating is just going to keep going lower and lower. So now 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, bearing through me throughout this whole video. If you made it this far, oh my god, I don't know what's wrong with you, but please subscribe, hit the smash button, or smash the subscribe button. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.